Welcome to All Aboard with Ned.
Yep.
Adam.
Oh, he probably went cheap.
And LK.
Is he pretending to be talking and we're not listening to him?
This is not going to be good at all.
Hey guys, welcome to another week of All Aboard. Obviously, this week is a little unique and a little different. Coming after Saco, we all probably were expecting to have a really joyous and celebratory episode. Hearing all the same stories about Saco again for the 500th time, and then talking about how the show has come back down a little bit to reality after Saco, and then. Speaking of reality, obviously we all know what happened, and so we're obviously gonna talk about a few more of the serious things. But that said, we have a lot to discuss today. Not necessarily Saco. You've already heard the stories from Ned. He's been on 15 shows already. LK's been on 15 shows and have talked about his stories. He got a call from Benners last night, so. We'll start with our guest here. So
jealousy there.
we'll get to the jealousy aspect here. But as you see, we have a special guest joining us for anal this week, Mr. TJ Hubbard.
Yep, bend right over and take that fucking thing. All right. Well, I don't know what anal means. All aboard, I guess.
Yes, that's what it means, TJ.
Great to see you guys. Great to see LK, Ned, Adam. Nice to see you guys. Adam, I think this is the first show we've done together.
No, we did the wrestling show on the Minifan Mash. Got you there.
You know what happens? Ned might know. Weed. A lot of it at a young age will do this to you. You forget everything. My wife's like, how do you know who won the 1962 World Series, but you can't remember to put the knives back yesterday? It's shit like that. But how's things? I mean, Saco was phenomenal. We get a little bit of a somber news there the day after, but trucking on.
Yep.
Some people tear an ACL. Some people have to go to the hospital for other means, and let's hope they get better. That's all we can do.
And were you at both shows?
I was not at Sunday's show. Could not make that one.
Okay.
For family reasons.
We'll get into it. Actually, let's just jump into it right now. So, I obviously did not go. I think Kirk said it best when Ned tried to give me a little bit of a shout out on Mike and the Minifans. Fuck Adam for being a Jew. Don't be a Jew and then you can go. I was dying of laughter when I heard that. But yeah, so I mean, I had major FOMO about that, and I'd say probably that and Madawaska are among the two things that I've had the most FOMO with, probably anything in my life. So with that, I bring that question to you guys. What have you missed out on that you regret most of anything in your life?
Missed
Ned,
out.
I'll start with you on that one,
That's
Ned.
a good one.
What have you had the most
I
FOMO for?
I could almost answer that.
Oh, TJ, then you go first.
Go for it, TJ.
Which concert did you miss?
Oh, me. Oh,
Yes.
Well, I saw almost every show that I could in the 80s, but I was too young in the 70s, so missing the 70s show. But I mean, it's something like that I should have been at and didn't.
Yep. Like I could have gotten in the car, just driven up after my son's second birthday on Sunday, and just gotten there at 7:00, and then driven back and gotten home at 3 a.m. on Monday morning. That's what I should have done. So that's where I'm at.
My dad called me in October 1997 and said that he has an extra ticket to the Marlins Game 7 World Series, and I didn't go because I had a company picnic up in Boca Raton, and the game was being played down. No, it was actually being played here. Sorry. So it was too much of a long day. So go ahead, you go. And I'm a Red Sox fan anyway, but I've never seen a team on the field win the World Series. So that would have been pretty cool.
Nice.
So
I've had a long-term FOMO, if you can call it. When I was young, my mom came to me. I think it was like 5 or 6. And back home, she's like, hey, I saved enough money. I can send you maybe 2 or 3 friends to Disney, and you and your dad are going with you. Would you like that? I was like, yeah, no, I don't want that. No, maybe I was a little older, maybe 8, 9 years old. Like, yeah, no, I don't want that. I just want to party here. and then right after that, my mom like lost her business, and like we were like through like very financial hardship. And like growing up, I was like, I may never go to Disney. That may never happen. And I finally realized my dream. Like,
yeah, right.
2 years later, and it was always like, hey, seeing my friends going, like traveling and going. I was like, yeah, I may never get this opportunity. So it was like a long-term FOMO, but I finally, was able to overcome.
Well, now you go every year, right?
Yeah, now you get the annual pass.
I'm actually here right now.
I know.
How much is the rent at Galaxy's Edge anyway?
I don't know. I'm not going to any parks. I'm just.
Oh, you're not?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm last.
Yeah. What about you, TJ?
I don't have a lot of FOMO. If there's something that I'm not going to fucking miss it, you know what I mean? More recently would be Sunday night. I mean, I tried to get there. But I did see it. I was there all night Friday, hitting the casino with all the guys afterwards, and then Saturday being there and just meeting the crowds and going around meeting everybody. That was pretty cool. Missed out on. I opted not to play football my senior year in high school. That would be
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not save for the fact that I made other friends as well. And other things, everything happens for a reason. So even if you miss out on something, it happened for a reason.
Were you the mascot?
So
what was that? What was that, LK?
He asked if TJ was the mascot.
No, I was not a mascot.
Okay.
So I think that would be it. But again, I did other things. Was I a mascot my senior year instead? Yeah, I dressed as a gorilla. Yes. Yes, I did.
There you go.
But it was I'm trying to think of like shows, like all the fish concerts that happened in Maine. I never went to any of them because I went to the one in upstate New York, the Clifford Ball in '95 when I was a senior in high school. I'm trying to think. I saw Kiss. I've seen AC/DC. Kiss is by far one of the better bands I've ever seen live. I was like, I got asked to go to it with some chick that was, and I was like, okay, I'll go. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to listen to that. Shout it, great,
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was one of those concerts where I was like, Jesus, it was unreal.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're a showmanship band anyway, so.
Well,
yeah.
The only two I haven't seen that I wish I had, but to be honest, they were just too damn expensive at the time. Was Springsteen? He came through South Florida a couple of times, but each time, not recently, and I wouldn't want to see him again, and I lost the will to see him, I guess. But early on, in like pre-born in the USA, he came through $75 a ticket, and that's like 1980. Wow. And I'm like, I was still in high school, and I'm like, I can't afford that. And then later on, it became more of a production. It was even more expensive, and then I'm like, I can't spend $150 for a ticket to see someone in concert. And the same thing with U2. U2 is also one of those that I would like to have seen early on, didn't. And by the time I felt like seeing I'm not big on the productions. I don't like the big production shows. So the Zooropa tour, if you guys remember that, it was like, I'm not going to spend that kind of money to go to a show. The Dead, even in 1995, before Jerry died, I think it was $45 for the ticket at the American Airlines Arena in Miami. And Mrs. Snark walked out of the show saying that was not worth $45. And she's a major Deadhead. She's seen him, and she's a bit older than me. She's seen him since she was 12 years old. That was not worth $45.
What was the date that Jerry died again?
I was about to say Jerry Garcia died in the summer, correct?
Yeah. August what?
Yes,
August 5th.
Well, I was at summer camp.
1995. Yeah.
I remember all of the counselors who were big potheads got really pissed.
The Clifford Ball in upstate New York was the 16th, 17th, and 18th of August.
Yeah.
So it was that's why it was so big. There was 125,000 people that showed up for the Clifford Ball. So it was crazy. Man, I was driving tonight, not to get nostalgic. I was driving tonight and the moon's shining. It reminded me. I had the Grateful Dead running on my truck.
Good
And it
man.
reminded me of a lot simpler times back before the year 2000, when we'd listen to the Dead and we'd go fishing up here off the trestle.
Yep.
And just catch fish and drink all night, all your buddies, man, I don't know. It's one of those times where you're driving, you actually see it, and, you feel it, and you're like, Jesus, man, those are good times. So,
well, going back in terms of nostalgia, we LK has hyped up a story of yours, TJ, and we may as well stay with the really happy memories now with Kirk's news. So we're going to talk about 9/11. Let's. Nothing more humorous and funny than that, and entertaining.
All right,
but TJ, you have a 9/11 story. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, LK asked me to talk about it a little bit. I worked in 2011. I worked for the city of which I live in now.
Yeah.
2001.
2001. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is that long ago? So what I did, I was a field maintenance guy. So I used to paint freehand logos on fields. I used to do the football fields, the baseball fields, build mounds. It's fun stuff. I once worked at Hatlock Field just to do the lines and stuff. But obviously we know what happened the morning of. The day before, as everybody knows, I am an avid gambler.
No, really.
Jesus.
I
was
shocking.
I was at the local store up here that no longer exists. There's a couple things that no longer exist in the story, and it's pretty funny. And I was waiting in line to buy a scratch ticket on water, and I'm sitting there, and these two gentlemen in front of me, sitting there, and you can see there's a little language barrier between the cashier, who I know personally now. His name's John, and they turn around. They're asking where the Comfort Inn was in South Poland.
Oh no!
So, I gave them both directions to the Comfort Inn. One being Mohammed Atta and his little partner there. So I did meet them.
Holy shit!
And they got in to where they were going. It's funny when I reckon back. I talk to John about it once in a while. He's much older than I am. He's only got 1 foot now due to diabetes. And he was interviewed pretty extensively about it. I was not. But
really?
Yeah, because we were both giving them directions. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I don't know. Jesus, it's not hard to get to Comfort Inn. I don't know what they were getting, And come to find out, they left there. They went to the Pizza Hut.
Yep.
No joke. That Pizza Hut is now gone. It was gone shortly thereafter. They went to Walmart. They bought some stuff. They went back to the Comfort Inn, and the person taking care of their room is a good closer friend of mine as well. Yep. So it's just it's kind of eerie to know that these two guys are in front of you, and they literally murdered thousands of people.
Yep.
And it's all because you gave him the address.
Yep, that's it. That's exactly. It's all. Yep. That's if I wouldn't have given him the access.
Full circle.
Yeah, I knew. I prior to 9/11, I knew what was going to happen, and I was like, you know what? Just let things go.
Yeah.
Let it happen. It's fine.
Let the chips land where they may.
Yeah, I can tell you, I have a that day, the next morning. Obviously, I am working for the city, and I walked into the bank at the same time the second plane hit, and I got to watch that live. And then I was called back, even though I worked for the Park Service. I was called back. Everybody's coming back now, and we're all on high alert because we don't know what's going on at that point. If there's more, if there's invasion, if the country's coming in, no one knew anything. Yep. So, and it's thinking back on that, I think it was the first time in my young life that I thought about religion and the complications of such. Not to get all serious about this, but I was like, what fucking nutcase thinks, their religion is so superior that they can take other people's lives.
Yeah.
And and at that point, I believe I became an atheist.
Yeah.
So
How was
Yeah,
the
I mean-
blowback? How was the blowback back in your city? You know, the days like the investigations and everything.
There was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of people investigating. Talked to a lot of the cops, just locally. I remember it must have been maybe 2 days after. I was sitting and painting a ball field way out. And it's like 150 acre, what was a soil field. I was sitting there just painting along, and I was like, "What is that noise?" I shut my machine off, and he goes, and these 2 fighter jets came right over the tree line.
Wow.
And I think I sharded. It scared me. I was like, "Holy shit!"
They come up on you fast.
Yeah.
You know, and I live right next to the Portland Jetport,
Yep.
and there's no planes. It was
Right.
eerie.
Nobody was flying.
No one was flying.
Yep.
And there was a lot of animosity too. I mean, if you were of Middle Eastern descent, I mean, there must have been probably thousands of hate crimes that went unreported at that point, all across the nation, just because of that.
Yep.
I remember my brother looking me in the eye because we both had Class B licenses. Like he was like, "Let's just go to New York. Let's go. We got to help these people out. We got to move rock, drive truck, do whatever we can." And I was like, "No, I don't want to go down there." You know what I mean? Like I would, but I just can't. I couldn't do it. My job. And so fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Did I miss out? Probably not. Do I regret? I would love to have helped more, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And we didn't know for, I think, like a week that they came through South Portland, came through the Portland terminal.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So why did they do that? Why did they
Okay.
stay in South Portland?
So,
the night before?
I can answer this because TJ's going to flip out when I tell him this. Maybe he won't. He won't.
I probably know.
So I bought a business in Portland on Forest Ave in Portland, downtown Portland, on August 27th, 2001. I was in the middle of moving my entire family up, but I came up first. Actually, over the summer, I came up 2 or 3 times from Fort Lauderdale International Airport to the Portland Jetport. 3 times, twice in like July and once in August. Or maybe it was once in July and twice in August. Then I drove up to buy the business. I was going to set the business up. My wife was home selling the house in Florida, getting it packed up, and then we were going to move up to Maine. So the morning, I had a really hard time getting, I bought a business I shouldn't have bought, and it was, it was with the people that were not the best fit. And if I fired them all, then I'd have to do all the work. I couldn't do it all. So without going into too much details, the girl, the local Maine girl, who was like a biggest pain in the ass you could ever imagine. Everything was a problem. Everything was a complaint. But her boyfriend Mohammed would come in and pick her up after work, and he drove a van. So I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, okay. 9/11 happens. Now my background in what I do now is aviation related. So I watched it live in my store. And people are freaking out, and they're like, I remember the Today Show. I think they had the Today Show on for the customers. They're like, oh, it looks like that was a small private jet. And I'm like, no, that was a 767. That's a big effing plane.
Yeah.
And then, now you're watching TV all the time, and the second one hits. So I was like, holy shit. And I realized immediately we are under attack. This is serious shit. All through the afternoon. Now, where my business is like, TJ is in his town and I'm in Portland, and they're connected. But where I was and where he is not connected. But one of the main drags through town is Forest Ave, and there were Portland PD, there were Maine State Troopers flying up and down. And Forest Ave is a street, a city street, so a lot of traffic lights, a lot of traffic signals flying through. Like, holy shit. Okay. Meanwhile, you're thinking like, what's happening here? We didn't know it happened. We had no idea that it happened anything regarding Portland. The 13th, September 13th, the FBI shows up in my shop. So I'm like, and it showed the 4 of them. 2 cars show up, 2 sets of agents come in, ask for me, show me their IDs. And of course, I'm thinking it's about her boyfriend, Mohammed, right now. They said, yeah, we need, they knew, I presented my identification, told them who I was. Then they asked me why I flew from Fort Lauderdale to the Jetport to Portland so many times over the course of the summer.
Wow.
I said, well, it's to buy this business. It's like, okay. And at this point, we already knew. By 2 days later, we knew the route where they came from. Some on Boston, some came out of Portland and connected into Boston. And they said, "Well, you were on 2 of your 3 flights were with Mohammed Atta. We're on the same aircraft."
No way.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
"Son of a bitch!" Now,
That's crazy.
TJ, they stayed at that Comfort Inn, which is still there on Main Mall Road, right?
It is
still there.
not. It is not.
It is because
it's been replaced. It's been replaced by. I mean, hang on.
No. On my way to Madawaska, I called my boss from the parking lot. And I said, "Guess where I'm calling you from?" And I said, "I'm calling
Yeah,
from the Comfort Inn on the
you're right. You're right. There's another one right up the street. I think it's the True or something that was resurrected. I thought
Right.
that took its place, but
Nope.
Um,
That was it. Because in Hollywood, Florida, where I live, they also lived. They were also here going to strip joints, going to the Seminole Reservation to play bingo, living it up. When they found out they were there staying, the owner of that apartment building had it demolished, tore it down.
yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That wouldn't happen
same
today.
thing.
But that's what they did.
Pizza Hut was demolished and torn down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
on Main Mall Road. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of places where
So
I don't know.
Did all planes got out of Boston, or was one of them got out of?
No,
Portland?
one came out of Boston.
One came, and two of the hijackers on the second plane, Muhammad Atta and the other guy, came out of Portland.
Yeah, they came.
And I now work with the woman who's retiring tomorrow. In fact,
So the
Who actually-
flight took off from Portland.
the flight took out. Back then, they used to have United and American and Delta had connections from Portland to Logan.
Yeah,
They don't do it anymore.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
I see. Okay.
Tomorrow, a woman I work with actually checked in Muhammad Atta and the other guy at the jet port for the airline they flew on.
So
She had to take a
Um,
6-month leave of absence.
so
we
the
went down a
morning-
real hole
I know,
here,
right?
Adam.
hang
Way to
on,
go.
let's just wrap that up
And
then.
look,
So
you've eaten
my,
way too much food, so you're not even
It's
thinking
true.
clearly.
That's true. So my connection with 9/11, and obviously, living in New Jersey now, I have a lot of friends, including my wife, who grew up here, that had a lot more connection to the New York, to the Twin Towers and whatnot. My dad was supposed to be on the plane to LA, and he had a business trip where he was going to LA, and then he had to go to Kansas City after. He got to the airport, and there was a huge emergency with the Kansas City client, so he had to, at the last minute, they changed their tickets. But I obviously didn't know that, and so I'm sitting there. Like I said, I was a senior in high school. My buddy Danny comes over, and I remember he said, "Oh my God, a plane hit one of the Twin Towers." We're like, "Wow, fucking idiots! How does a pilot fly that low?" Whatever. And then we heard about the second one, and then I remember I had social studies, which is history or whatever. I don't even know what it's called in other schools. And so maybe it is social studies. We were just watching the news, and I remember when I saw the flight that it was going from Logan to LAX, and that the flight name and number. And I remember as clear as day. I have never more calmly done anything in my life than I raised my hand and I just looked at my teacher and I said, "Can I just go call my mom? I think my dad might be dead." And I just stood up and walked out of the room. And it was just like, it was the most surreal moment of my life. And thank God,
Crazy.
like I said, thank God he wasn't. But yeah.
Was he supposed to? be on
Wow,
the
we
flight?
went down a fucking rabbit hole. He was supposed to be on the flight to LA.
Wow.
So,
Crazy.
but listen, let's
great.
talk
Thanks,
about.
TJ.
I know, right? Let's talk about something
Hey.
a little happier here, right? Let's talk about sports. Let's talk about what's going on in baseball right now with COVID. And do you guys think that the season's going to finish? Do you think that any other league is going to go through? What are your thoughts on the state of sports with COVID right now? TJ, kick it off.
Wasn't there a coach for the Phillies that was with someone yesterday? A whole bunch of people, and he tested positive.
Mhm.
So now that I think it's the Phillies,
Yep.
they're gonna have to shut down.
Phillies, Marlins already shut down. I don't
Yep.
think the season's gonna
No.
end. I think they're gonna.
I'll be honest with you. So I dabble in coaching football up here.
Mhm.
They're trying. but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yep.
I just don't, and I don't think, it's hard. If you asked me 5 months ago, they're going to cancel the season for the NFL season for COVID, I would say you're crazy.
Yep.
They're going to find a cure for that faster than you can fucking blink.
Right.
Yep.
They do. And believe me, we already hear about the vaccines coming out already because NFL's there's a chance the NFL gets canceled, and that's a lot of money. That vaccine's coming out soon.
Yep.
They're going to push it real quick. Do I think if they don't have a vaccine or something to help mitigate this, NFL season's gone. Tom Brady will retire as a New England Patriot. Never having played a down for the Tampa Bay.
Would it be a bad thing?
Buccaneers.
Would it be a bad
That's gonna
thing?
be awesome.
Hey, TJ, how many baseball teams are there in total?
There's 32 Major League Baseball
32.
teams.
Yeah.
All right. There are, I counted this from an article that I was just reading before this. 22 teams right now currently have at least one player on the injured list. I think is what the PC word is for now, whatever, on the DL in either named to COVID or because of HIPAA reasons, they don't need to say COVID. Right. So just an undisclosed illness that'll last 14 days. So that's 22 teams that have at least one player.
At least one.
Yeah.
Well, it's been since Friday, Saturday. So
Yeah, and I was reading the news about basketball, and they are still moving forward, right? They say the bubble supposed to be working.
So the bubble works. According to them, it's been 2 weeks COVID free inside the bubble, which is good. Yep. I think the NHL did the same thing. They did the bubble thing. The Bruins are doing an exhibition tonight.
Yeah.
I think the Red Sox are going to lose again. Did they win last night, by the way?
They won last night. So did the Dodgers. Got me a nice $58.
Well, I can tell you that
online gambling in New Jersey is completely legal.
Yep. Not
FanDuel Sports app is great.
And sorry, Mike Manansky, not in Massachusetts either.
Yet.
Yeah, I used to be able to bet on the horses from my phone. I used to do FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yep.
It was fun, but whatever I bet the fucking opposite.
Yes.
I sucked at it. I couldn't tell you that all my friends were like, hey, who are you picking this weekend? I give them like a 10-minute reason why I'd pick this team. Good, I'll pick the opposite.
Bet against you. Yep.
Yeah, why not? It was just ridiculous. Anything that I ever, if the Patriots covered every week.
Yep.
No matter what. Always cover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always cover. If I bet the Patriots cover, they wouldn't cover. Nope.
Well, TJ, I felt the exact same way about the NFL. There's no way Goodell is going to let the season go. But after, was it, what's today? Thursday. Was it Tuesday when all the teams started and the Patriots guys started opting out?
Yep.
It began to, Deontay Hightower and a lot of the guys. I'm like, okay,
Pat
maybe.
Chung. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure what that means.
Cannon.
If they, and Marcus Cannon too, if they opt,
Brandon Bolden, a ton.
even if the league goes ahead with and they find the vaccine comes in, they're just not going to play this.
They're not going to play this year. Yes.
And maybe this is a hot take, but imagine your employer, imagine my boss saying to me, hey, you can take the year off. We're still going to pay you $350,000 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
You're going to be with your family for a year, your newborn child. See you later, man. I'm going home.
Yep.
I don't need that shit. I don't, Not only that, it saves a year off your career.
It does.
Where salaries are rising. So next year, you're potentially going to make more.
And
you
be healthy.
saved your knees. You're going to be healthier. And why wouldn't you take off? So it's amazing to me that, I think that some of these, the pro sports, and maybe collegiate level and maybe the high school level are looking at fall sports and flip-flopping them and saying, let's go football in the spring and baseball in the fall. Up in Maine, that doesn't fly, baseball in the fall. I don't know if you ever tried to play baseball in the middle of November.
No.
But sleet and freezing rain doesn't bode well for knuckleball.
No. Not at all.
Hell, hitting the ball with a wooden or metal bat in that cold weather. Oh my God, your hands are like,
that'd be crazy. And by the way, the bubble works. The bubble works until it doesn't. The second one person comes into the bubble, it is going to spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
So, but how is the NBA working? Are they going to allow players to get out of the bubble, or are they going to be in the bubble the whole season?
they're supposed to be in the bubble the whole season. I thought, although some have
not too far from you. Okay,
that have escaped.
Yeah. See, and I thought, the Toronto Blue Jays had a real good shot at playing their home games here in Portland at the Sea Dogs field. And
why?
Because
just
the other day,
Toronto.
And just the other day, there was a total of 6 new cases in Maine, the whole state. 6. So there's been there's 121 deaths total over the 6 months. I mean, it really didn't affect the state. I mean, I have friends whose parents have passed from it. I know people that are 92 and I had a small cough and got over it. It's just weird how it affects different people. And I think that's the most frightening part of it so it's better to be safe than sorry. But again, if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, I would look at the Hadlock's a great field up here. And I'm lucky to have one of my really, really good friends takes care of the whole complex. So if the Blue Jays would have came to Portland, I would have a new job, part-time, raking the field, 5th inning drag. Yeah. I would love it. I would have done it.
I don't think that's going to happen, man.
I know.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, that was the idea too. When I was younger than you guys, and they said, "What's your ideal job?" And I remember going to Hadlock Field and watching the Sea Dogs games, and I'm like, I think it'd be the best job would be a AA baseball team owner. You don't have the pressure of the big leagues. You don't have to pay the guys a lot, but all the stars, the future stars are coming through. And TJ and I could tell you probably 24 Red Sox and other team, now traded on to other teams that we watched play when they were like, 22 years old.
Dustin Pedroia.
I saw Pedroia, absolutely.
Kevin Millar.
Back when he was Sea Dogs.
Marlins. Yeah.
It was the Marlins team first, right? And then it was the Red Sox.
Hanley
Ramirez.
One of the better things was my wife had an admiration for one Red Sox player. His name was Gabe Kapler. Right. And you can wonder why. Because everybody's seen him without a shirt.
Because he's Jewish, right? She likes the Jews.
Yes, that. And he's Adonis. So I asked my buddy, my other buddy who was in charge of it at that time, hey, can you get us on the field and meet this Gabe Kapler? Yeah, we'll get him down there. So she got to sign an autograph with him, got a hug with him and stuff. And she's never been more happy, until we met other people.
Wasn't he Verdugo's coach?
He sure was. He sure was.
Yeah.
He sexually assaulted my wife.
Listen, as long as it wasn't on Snapchat, it's fine.
Was she happy?
Yes, she was. I'd be happy if he sexually assaulted me.
What's NHL's plan? Are they just gonna
same
play
thing?
Games?
They're in a bubble.
Same as NBA.
They're in the bubble.
Yep.
Okay.
Lately baseball and football. Obviously, sports. I was a big sports guy growing up. I played baseball and football. Even though you saw me, I look like a human bowling ball. But I played both those sports.
What positions did you play?
I was a guard for offense, and I was a second baseman. And obviously, wherever in the outfield the ball wasn't getting hit.
Yep.
That's what my father was a coach in baseball, so he's like, "Yeah, you go up there." But I played Babe Ruth ball until I was like 17.
Sure.
I was still a big kid. I just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I couldn't do it. It was awful. But football was really fun. I liked it. Yep. The contact was, and that's where we come into football, knowing it as well as I do. There was 0.0 chance you're not going to roll into someone's spit on a football field.
Right.
Yeah. Did any of you guys play football the American style?
I did not.
Ned did.
Yep.
So Ned knows that, if you're in a pig pile jumping for a ball, I mean, you either grabbing someone's ball sack or you're throat punching them, or you're spitting in the helmet. It's just
your face mask,
sweaty, sweaty and grossness.
What's odd is that football and basketball and hockey are very high level, and soccer too, right? High level contact sports. Yeah. You would think that would be the easiest sports to pass the contagion onto. Baseball, you don't have to. You can avoid contact in baseball, which is interesting.
Right, but they're going out every night though.
Yeah, they're not
isolating
themselves.
It's every night.
They're not isolated.
Yeah.
So that was if they had just clamped it better. I think maybe like mandatory hotel and or motels. Put them in a freaking place that's guarded. Bubble it. Yeah.
I just don't know how the NFL is going to deal with it. I know it's only once a week, but you have to practice all week.
Right.
You have to be around your teammates no matter what.
Right.
The NHL, you can wear full face helmets. You should personally. I don't know if you ever saw
now the NHL,
Gary Cheever's face.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're talking about putting face shields on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
a lot of players wear them anyway to protect their eyes.
They have it. They have it for football too. They have these little face things.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Oh, great!
God, those
you still have to
sweaty
touch.
as
You're still spitting. You're still taking your helmet off. You're around. I mean, they huddle.
Yeah, there's
It's
a lot
called
of
the huddle.
there's a lot of area of exposure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played rugby too. That sport.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I would play. It was the second row. I was always in the scrum in rugby.
And you guys,
you're literally your head's next to your guy's ass.
We're talking about this disrupting major sports, and like, well, God, it's not the major sports. It's really disrupting. It's the local levels,
right?
The youth levels and the high school levels and the middle school levels, to where these kids, instead of playing for something and going to school so they can get better grades so they can play their game that they like, they no longer can play the game that they like. So now they're like, oh, fuck it. What do I have to go to school for?
Right.
So they're not going to do their work and all at school either.
Yep.
It really has a huge impact, and we got to find a way. You got to find a way quick.
I
mean, I coach my kids' baseball team, my oldest son's baseball team, and this is 7 and 8 year olds, so it's not super competitive yet, but it's not easy to keep them apart from each other. And, we have to mandate masks for them in the dugout, and everyone had to bring their own equipment this year, which, by the way, again, you want to talk about pricing people out. If you say that you can't come and use league offered equipment and you have to pay for your own, you can't afford that, you're out.
I started umpiring last year because I wanted to get into like Little League and just see little kids and have a fun time with it.
Yep.
And I couldn't do it this year, and that pisses me off. Like, I wanted,
and that's why
little kids out, man. That's the fun.
It's the best.
Hey, the good news is before we wrap up
that's what
we're flying in vaccines. Their vaccine tests are on their way.
Good.
Like literally, that's what I do for a job. So I was doing all freaking day today. Goddamn
but
vaccines.
you guys talking about sports. I don't think people are going back to schools either.
Oh God! Please don't say that. Right now, listen. I just sat through a full presentation from my kids' school about how they're reopening in person. So it better fucking happen.
Better happen.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna happen.
All it takes is one to get sick.
Yes.
It's time to wrap.
Yeah.
TJ.
Yeah. We should wrap
Thanks
this.
for the great story.
TJ, that was awesome. Thanks for the downer.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, you have a good story about it too. We happen to both be affected by it in the same location, really.
I know. Really,
it's crazy that they probably came right up. The funniest thing was that they probably came right up Forest Avenue, right up State Street, down over the bridge, down Broadway, and right into that Irving.
Yeah,
it's a straight shot from Forest Ave.
That's true.
So
that's exactly right.
You guys have some participation in it.
Well, we'll get together. We're going to get together in Old Orchard Beach in a couple of weeks. And LK, you're coming up too.
God, I wish.
Yeah,
Adam, we'll do it in the middle of the week if you can get it.
Done.
We're going to the Brunswick.
Perfect.
Stop being a pussy.
I'll do it.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Eid starts tomorrow night at sunset.
All right, guys.
All right. Yeah, okay.
All right, guys. TJ, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you, TJ.